everybody, this is Zoe from No Safer Place, and today I am here reviewing a show that I saw last night, and it is quite literally the best show I have ever seen. And I know I say that for a few shows that I go to see, but the way that I felt when I left last night and the way that I felt sitting throughout it, I have never felt like that in a theatre before. 2.5 hours has never gone so quickly. I have never been so disappointed when the interval has come around, and I have never written so many notes as I did for the show last night. I got home and I was on such a high that I wrote 6 pages of notes. 6 pages. I couldn't stop. We may be here for a while today, so get yourself a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's talk about and Juliet. 3 words. Jordan, Luke, Gage. I know, the show's about Juliet, and here I am simping over Romeo. That's the basic bitch that I am. But oh my god, this is the best show I have ever seen. I was actually really lucky. I managed to get £15 tickets in the Boxing Day sale. They were amazing tickets for the price. I was in the Royal Circle, I was in row L, and I was centre stage. I was seats 19 and 20, I think they were. I will insert some pictures now of what the view was like from there. I had listened to the soundtrack quite a lot. I was really familiar with all of the songs, and I did enjoy the soundtrack, but now that I've seen the show live, the soundtrack does not do it justice at all, because context is just everything. Obviously, all of the songs in And Juliet are already pop songs that you will definitely already know, but without the context, it's nowhere near as good. Obviously, now that I'm listening to it after I've seen it, I know the storyline and what's happening at that moment in time, so it's a lot better once you've seen the show. Because without seeing the show, you don't kind of get the wit and the full humour and the cleverness and kind of the complexity of the story until you see it on stage. So if you are undecided because the soundtrack seems a bit too poppy, go for it. Honestly, go for it. It is so much more musical theatre-like and just so much more powerful on stage. I had absolutely no idea of the story. I just knew that it was some kind of spin-off of Romeo and Juliet, which is a Shakespeare play that I'm not a massive fan of. I really don't like the kind of tragic love story between them. It's never been one that I've been a fan of, even though I do love Shakespeare. And Juliet follows the story of, obviously, Juliet and what her life is like after Romeo. So what would have happened if Juliet hadn't killed herself after she had lost Romeo? What would she have done with her life? What would she have gone on to do? And it is very cleverly told from the perspective of Anne Hathaway and Shakespeare. And they're kind of taking turns in writing this new perspective and new version of what Juliet's life could have been. Anne Hathaway really wants this strong, empowered female lead who doesn't need a man in her life. But good old Shakespeare, he has other ideas. I will say no more on the main story, but that is the main plot. But there are so many subplots and secondary characters that are just as important, and you're rooting for them just as much as you are Juliet, which I think is one of the things I love most about this show. May and Francois have the most gorgeous journey and storyline together, so do Lance and the nurse. You really are rooting for all of these characters. I personally had a connection with every single character and genuinely cared about them and the journey that they were going on. May's journey of self-discovery is one of the most moving and heartwarming pieces of theatre I have ever witnessed. Their rendition of I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman, I was sobbing. It was just absolutely beautiful. Heartbreaking, but beautiful. Alex Thomas Smith, who plays May, their voice is just stunning. Words cannot describe how moving that song was. That is one of the songs that sticks out most when I think back to the show. It was so moving that you could almost hear a pin drop in the theatre, and there's not many moments in theatre, especially nowadays with phones and bad theatre etiquette. It was just completely silent while they shared their story, and it was amazing. And the chemistry between Lance and Nurse is just absolutely electric. I was living for journey and the story that they went on, as is the relationship between Anne and Shakespeare, which I think was particularly important to mention because both of them were the understudies for the characters when I saw it last night. So considering they were understudies, you would not have known. They were just insane. Juliet, aka miriam-teak, wow. She has the most amazing stage presence. When she's on the stage, you are just naturally drawn to her because she is just so compelling. Her voice goes without saying, it's powerful, it's amazing. She is honestly the most perfect leading lady. This show screams female empowerment to me, and there is no one to represent that better than her. Jordan Luke Gage. Of course, my heart lies with Romeo. And let me tell you, I got there, bought the programme, obviously. This little slip was in there. If you know me, you will know that I've been wanting to see Jordan Luke Gage as Romeo for a really long time. And it said, in the absence of Cassidy Jansen, Oliver Tomset and Jordan Luke Gage. And I read that and I knew the show would still be sensational, and I was not any less excited, but there was a tiny piece of my heart that broke because I was so desperate to see him. So I was already planning a second trip to see him before he leaves, before the show had even started. And then It's My Life started. Down came Romeo from the ceiling, and who was it but none other than Jordan Luke Gage. The front of house team had given me the wrong slip. He was there. He was there, and the surprise when I saw him come down and realised that it was him, I actually bought the binoculars to get in the seats to have a close look because I was just so happy. But yeah, I'm a basic bitch who lusts after the bad boy who's a little bit of a douche, but he's just so adorable and just can't not love him. I am here for this sexually fluid, overly emotional Romeo that Jordan Luke Gage portrays. He's just perfection. It's ditzy and comical. It's kind of everything that I never thought Romeo would be, which is why I really loved this interpretation of him. It's completely swoon-worthy, and I could tell why Juliet fell for him and why everyone else on the stage fell for him, because let's be honest, Romeo gets around. Just here for it, and his entrance, wow. Back to the songs. The songs are just so clever. I cannot even express enough how clever they are. It's hard to believe that these songs weren't written for the stage show. That's how well they're kind of interwoven into the show. Thought with it being a jukebox musical and all of the songs being so popular and everyone knowing them, that there would be a lot of singing along, a lot of bad theatre etiquette, but I think everyone was just so engrossed in the production that no one sung at all. Apart from the last song when everyone was up dancing and cheering, there was no singing along, and I was just completely amazed at that because there are some real bangers in there. There are some amazing songs that even I was struggling not to sing along to. So I was really impressed that there was no singing along, because it really was something I was worried about, but it's just so captivating. There was no worry of that. Obviously I've mentioned that Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman was one of my favourite songs. Also, It's My Life was incredible. That's the first time that we meet Romeo, so of course that was going to be one of my favourites. It was so extra and over the top. Loved it. When they form a boy band and sing Everybody, yeah. Everyone was just living for that moment. I'm not going to spoil it by saying who was on the stage and what it was like, but oh my god, that is one to look out for. That had everyone in the audience swaying, just living their best life. And a song that I wasn't expecting to like as much as I did was Fucking Perfect, which is a song that Nurse sings to Juliet, and it was also a song that my mum used to sing to me growing up, especially when I was struggling. So that left me feeling really emotional. I really loved that scene between Juliet and Nurse. And then Raw, oh my gosh, That was absolutely sensational. I was so overwhelmed by how fantastic everything about that performance was that I cried. And me crying isn't that unusual when a theatre show starts, or if there's a particularly sad part or a touching part, I cry. But to cry because something just made me feel that good, that hasn't happened to me before. I just felt so happy and so overwhelmed with happiness that it made me cry. It's just electric. That was when people started to take pictures, even though it wasn't the end of the show, because I think everyone was feeling the same as me, like, oh my god, I want to relive this moment. Sets and costumes, I don't know how they do it. They're somehow modern, but they still feel old school at the same time. Think 1500s, but with a fuck ton of glitter, a whole lot of pink. That is the perfect way to summarize it. The sets are just incredible. I loved the revolving stage. They did so much on that and it worked so well. They easily transported you from Verona to Paris and you could almost feel like you were there with them. I just can't quite express how good this show is. Smile didn't leave my face, and it hasn't left my face since the second I left the theatre. I laughed so much throughout the show that my jaw is actually aching this morning. And you know me, of course I got some merch. I got my standard programme. I'm not sure how much this was, but I bought 2 wines and the programme, and it was £14? £18? I can't remember. It's usually between £5 and £8 the programme. But I also got this. It's an Anne Juliet water bottle. Did I need it? Absolutely not. Did I buy it anyway? Absolutely. And ironically, it says on it, never mind the Romeo, it's the Anne Juliet. It's ironic for me because you guys now know how much I love Romeo. But isn't it beautiful? And this was only £15, which I thought was really reasonably priced because it's metal, it's really nice quality. So yeah, I was really happy with that. I did try a ring on as well, but it was only one size and I have tiny hands, so I couldn't get that. But it was only £15 and it was beautiful. The theatre is really glamorous and fits the show perfectly. The aesthetic is just on point. I will insert some pictures now of what it was like outside. They have some amazing press boards that you can take your pictures of, which of course I took advantage of. And yeah, I would just highly recommend it. I'm booking front row tickets tomorrow to see it again before Jordan Luke Gage leaves on March the 26th. And I'm getting a Montague jacket, which is £200. Am I extra? Yes, I am. Do I need that? Absolutely not, but it's stunning. And Romeo is my favourite, and I do like denim jackets. So to Etsy I went, and the Montague jacket I bought. It's just incredible. I can't express how incredible it is. I think you can probably tell from my excitement levels how much I loved this. To go and see it. I have really reasonably priced tickets. I'm booking front row because I like to be in the moment. I like to see the actors' expressions close up. But I think if you're looking for a good view, the Royal Circle would be perfect because you could literally see everything. I know it's a lot cheaper than if you sit in the stalls. Have you seen Anne Juliet? What is your favourite song? Who is your favourite character? I know May is a really popular character and it's easy to see why. They are just amazing. Another thing I loved is that the cast is just so diverse. There's every shape, every size, every colour, every sexuality. Just wow, so inclusive. I just love this show. I love it so much. I hope it's here for a long time. And yeah, it's just so empowering, especially if you're a female. Go and see it. Go and see it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, comment, subscribe, all that usual good stuff. Also, you can turn on the notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos, which is usually once a week. Hope you all have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would like to see more of on my channel, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you. Bye.